What's up, guys? This is Justin. There's Greg. There's Vinny. We are Baseball and Whatever. We are back with episode 21. Our podcast is now old enough to drink.
Sammy Sosa's number.
Sammy Sosa's number. Vinny, what was your first drink when you turned 21?
Ooh, what wasn't my first drink when I turned 21? When turning 21 was a complete blur. I don't know. I think it had to have been beer, but
weren't you doing like Edward 40 hands or something?
No, we were doing wizard staffs.
Oh, I have no idea.
And I cut my hand. Oh, it's you drink beer all day and you put duct tape around it and make a staff out of it. You just fill them up high and then you beat the living tar out of each other. Which I cut my hand open hitting somebody really hard.
Nice.
Which I used the duct tape to make a bandage. It's on that wound.
It was like a cut glove.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always sunny.
Yep, exactly.
Greg, what about you? Do you remember your first drink when you turned 21?
No, because when I turned 21, that was my sobriety date.
Oh,
so that's when I actually quit drinking. After years and years of it. So,
all right.
My first drink ever was beer.
Okay.
My first drink at 21, it's probably also beer. That's all I really like.
Do either one of you guys want to guess what my first drink was when I turned 21?
Ooh. Pina colada.
Not pina colada. That's close. I do love a good pina colada.
SoCo and Coke?
No, that is my go-to now.
That's your go-to.
Yeah, that sounds like a little too harsh for young Justin.
For young Justin, yeah.
Well, SoCo's a little bit easier to take down if you mix it with Coke, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're talking about Justin in the quad.
That's a good point.
That's hiding.
Reading my Star Wars books.
It wasn't the Baileys, was it?
No, it was Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh boy,
that stuff is awful. That stuff is awful.
You get a headache from that stuff.
Yeah,
that stuff's too sweet.
Stomach ache. Your whole GI tract just hurts.
Do you like the twisted teas?
You know what? I did not have one last time I was at your house. I forgot to take one.
Okay. You missed out. They're actually quite tasty.
They're addicting.
All it tastes like is a John Daly.
Okay,
pretty much.
Yeah, you were explaining.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
All right. Well, enough of me talking about my 21st birthday. We are Baseball and Whatever. If this is your first time listening to us, thank you very much for tuning in. We are a baseball podcast primarily based out of Chicago. So we talk Cubs, Sox, and a little bit of everything around Major League Baseball, along with a second segment where we pick a random topic and discuss it, make countdowns, all that good stuff, whether it's Star Wars, DC, Marvel, TV shows, movies, video games, you name it, we're into it. So today, for our Whatever segment, Vinny had the great idea of drawing random Seinfeld episodes, and we are going to rank them.
It wasn't my idea. It was spawned from the whole episode of the Mets that we'll get into later.
Yes. Oh, if there's any Mets fans out there, I know we've bumped into a few Mets fans. I know Jeff from Disney on the Rocks is a Mets fan. He might have to write in and tell us more tomfoolery was had on the south side of New York City, I believe. In Flushing, New York, I believe is where the stadium used to be.
Are they the North Siders or the South Siders?
I honestly have no idea. I just kind of making that up as I go.
I don't know.
The West Side, East Side.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Well, so
they're the second team in the city.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So thank you for listening. We usually start off with some listener comments and emails. So Greg is going to tell us who wrote in this week. Greg, take it away.
So tonight we have Sean from the three spot blog.
Yep.
And Sean writes in, he says, we just discovered you guys and I personally just finished your most recent pod. Loved your love for Moana. Yeah, because Moana freaking rocks, man. Thank you, Sean, for writing in. Justin, you got a little something coming up with these guys?
Yeah.
You made some new friends, didn't you?
We did. It's pretty cool that we're meeting all these people from around the country. The 3 Spot is a baseball blog, and they asked us if we would like to collaborate with them occasionally. So they were telling me that somebody was talking to them about how Wrigley isn't really as great as it's cracked up to be.
That would be accurate.
Yeah, maybe.
So they asked me.
Absolutely. Sorry.
They asked me to write an article, either agreeing or defending that it's historical. So I tried to write a little bit of an article, giving my take. I would argue that it's a historical dump, I guess, is my take on it, kind of.
I think you're the way you compared it to a dive bar was absolutely perfect, Justin.
Yes.
In your article. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So that goes up. We're recording on Wednesday night. That goes up Thursday. I believe they said it's 7 a.m.
Yep.
Yes. Nice. I said it's like your college dive bar that is an absolute dump, but it's your dive bar and you would defend it. And that's how I think a lot of Cubs fans feel about Wrigley. So if you want to listen to some are we middle-aged? I don't know. 30
I'm older than that. I'm a
30's the new 20, Justin.
That's true. That's true.
In your case, it's 20. You look 20.
Yeah. So if you want,
Greg and I, not so much.
If you want to listen to a Cubs fan from the suburbs talk about Wrigley and what it means to him, feel free to check it out. Let me know what you think.
Not only that, a South Sider.
Southside Cubs fan, yeah.
There's a perspective for you.
We're a rare breed. You gotta stay in secrecy for the most part. So that's exciting. They've asked us to do a couple other things that we might take them up on. We'll see how it goes, and so check that out.
Sounds good. While we're making friends, or you're making friends, Justin, I'm making friends too, because Jack Lugo from Twitter wrote in. Had a fun time listening to these guys talk baseball and Disney movies. I was pleasantly surprised to hear all the love for The Princess and the Frog. Yeah, so was I. I'm so glad. I'm still glad you guys had that on your list. And great insights into Aladdin as well, because Aladdin rocks, plus some fun baseball chatter. Jack, you are the man. And sorry, I know Jack's a big Mets fan too, so we got a lot of Mets on this.
I was going to say we might have to have him on at some point to talk Mets with us too.
I think he's very interested in coming on. He and I mean, stay tuned, because Jack has a podcast. He has a couple podcasts. Well, he has a lot actually. He does a lot of recordings. James Bond Radio, Bond and Banter, and I was actually a guest on Bond and Banter, so that should be coming out soon. If you want to hear some wacky shit, definitely check that out. But we get into great talk too for the for my part of it, where we talk a lot of baseball and some Bond, and I've even talked about you guys a little bit. So
my ears are burning.
Yeah.
I'm dreading personally listening to that podcast, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So
I can't wait.
All right, here we go. Let's keep it going. Ashley on YouTube loved this episode. Justin, we really got you watching some more Disney movies, though. And Frozen, isn't it awful as you all made it out to sound? Yes, it is.
I read that already. I don't think we made it out to be bad, did we? I think Frozen 2, you and
Jeff, I think said was pretty bad, right?
Yeah, you guys kind of hammered that one, but
I'm not a Frozen guy. So.
I don't think it's that. I mean, I kind of agree with my sister on this one that it's not that bad. The snowman in it's probably what makes it the best.
Oh, and there's Olaf.
Yeah, and the songs aren't that bad. I mean, obviously, if you're listening to Let It Go on repeat because your daughters want to listen to it, I'm sure that probably gets pretty obnoxious.
Well, I will say this. I mean, the music's probably the best thing for it because, well, Idina Menzel's the only one who can actually really, I mean, they all have nice voices, but she is a different tier above those other guys. But it's just not my thing. I lost my spot. You guys should do a breakdown of Disney songs on another podcast. I love that idea.
That's a good idea.
Also, October is right around the corner, and there should be a horror movie flick countdown. So, Justin, better start getting the Xanax ready now. Ooh, smoke from the sister-in-law.
She's right? Throwing me some shade. I was thinking that the other day. I know we haven't talked about it, but we might have to do like a Podtober, October scary stuff. And seeing that I'm such a horror fan, I'll let you guys have it, and I can moderate. Because
you've seen horror movies,
have
you, Justin?
I've seen like a handful. I saw Eric.
Well, I was going to say you can just let Erica rank them for you, write up on everything you need to say, and there you go.
She did make me watch Scream last year, and it was okay. I mean,
Scream doesn't really age that well. It's not really a horror movie. It's kind of more funny than
it's too teeny for me a little bit.
I remember in high school. Did you guys ever see the horror movie Session 9? You guys remember that one?
No, I see that on Netflix all the time.
That was a big deal in high school. It takes place. It's an asbestos abatement crew.
Oh, I did see that.
Yes, and then they uncover like these old tapes of the patients, and then one of the characters in the asbestos crew starts developing those personalities. And
yeah.
It's not that good. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I've never seen it. I see it on Netflix though.
How many horror movies really are that good though?
No,
They're all just
not
like
many.
okay, yeah.
The guy that does the Home Depot voiceover is one of the characters in that. He was also in some basketball movie. I can't remember his name. I don't know. You know the guy I'm talking about. That voice?
Yeah,
That's
I can hear him right now.
He's one of the guys on the
best. He's like my best friend. So sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Chris with the guess on Greg's trivia question. If you don't remember that trivia question, that was that guy Cub. Should we just give the answer right now, guys? I don't remember what the clues were. They were on last week's episode. Chris, you are the man. The correct answer is Brent Lillibridge.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot he was a Cub.
Yeah.
I have
he was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2.5 weeks. Still a Cub, though.
No recollection.
Opening day second baseman. Look at that.
No recollection of that.
And Chris continues to say, well done. Great episode. We love you, Chris.
Excellent.
Thank you.
We gotta figure out what prize we can give Chris. I don't know what
Attaboy.
Yeah, there you go.
Right now.
You're an attaboy. Pat on the back.
Yeah.
If we had a sponsor, we could send him like a care package. So Twisted Tea, get on that.
Twisted Tea, send the man something. God damn it.
Send him Greg's bill.
Yeah, for all this. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So yeah, that's our listener comments. So we will jump into the White Sox now. I mean, pretty much they got everything locked down. I haven't checked the last time how many games ahead they are, but
I think it's 10 today.
10?
Well, they're winning right now. I don't know what Cleveland's doing, so I believe they got a 10-game lead.
So they've gained a game since last week. I know Greg was a little worried about that. Vinny, do you want to talk a little bit about Dylan Cease? I think were you the one that wrote this down?
I did. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I wrote it and then I looked at some more stats and I kind of answered my own question, but this is more for Greg. Cease had his second strong outing in a row, and this time it was against the Cubs. Last outing was against Toronto. His last 2 outings, he's pitched 13 innings, 200 runs, 18 strikeouts. Do you think he makes playoff roster?
Playoff roster, yes.
Or rotation. Rotation. Starting rotation.
Rotation. I'd be okay with emergency spot start and or maybe a swingman role. I mean, I love to have him in the rotation, guys. I don't know what to do with Keuchal though, because
he doesn't make it.
He's just does he make it? And if he does, like, what are you going to do with him? Because he's going to be a worse relief pitcher. Let's face that. You do not want that guy pitching relief.
Yeah,
you don't really want him starting. To tell you the truth, if it has to be one of the two, you want it to be a starter, even though you really don't want that. Guys, I'm loving Dylan Cease right now. I mean, if he, because right now we got our 1, 2, 3. If he's the 4, I think that's great, because I don't think it's going to be Kopech right now. He's kind of like our long guy. So kick Dallas to the side for all I care. Who gives a shit?
That's my feeling too. Yeah, I mean, you could do that regardless with Dallas. Since I know my feelings about him.
I know your feelings about him, but I'm talking strictly about just the stuff he's putting out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so spotty. It's badly located. It's just so hittable. I mean, this stuff's hittable anyway. He's not a put away guy, so they're just hitting it hard off of him. We don't need that shit in the postseason. So,
Greg, do you know? Pardon my ignorance. Do you know how many years left Keuchal's got on his deal?
I think next year's his last year.
Okay. Do you now? Granted, I don't know. I mean, personality wise, but do you think if he's left off the roster, does that start a rift between him and the team, or do you think he takes it in stride?
No, that's probably going to cause a rift.
Okay, that's what I figured.
No, knowing him, I mean, he's got the veteran leadership, but I think he's here just to win. And if he's not on the roster, there's going to be tension and anger right there, and rightfully so too. I mean, if I was in his spot, I'd be the same way. So I don't blame him for that. But
right.
But he's been bad, so how can he be upset about that?
Well, I mean, that's just the way athletes are. It doesn't matter.
Starting pitchers.
Starting pitchers, athletes in general. I mean, look at the whole idea of being an athlete is like, I know that was bad, but I know what's the old adage? Yeah, I know my next one's going to be better. Been working on some things, blah, blah, blah. Say the same bullshit left and right.
Sounds like Jake Arrieta.
Course he's gonna. I mean, of course
boy.
he's gonna say that, and I wouldn't get mad at him if he got upset about that. I mean, if he didn't get upset, I think that's even more damning. So there's like, oh, there's a guy who really doesn't give a shit. So
He's collecting his check either way.
Exactly. So what's the next point here? If he doesn't make the playoff rotation, should Tony be pushing more innings on him and give that bullpen a rest? I'm assuming that's what you mean right there. Yeah, he should. He needs the experience.
But I looked at his pitches per game is at 94. So
well, I mean, that's fine.
Really
that's fine. Well, look at the pitch count then. I mean, if that doesn't, the pitch count ended right there. But if that translates to more, if that eventually translates to an extra inning or so, let him do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can get guys out by, more guys in the lineup, seeing them more and getting them out, I mean, I think that can only be more beneficial. It's like I said, with Seats, it's like a confidence thing. Just build up that confidence, because the stuff is amazing. He's got great stuff. Just keep the command, keep the confidence, and then you really have something there. So
Right. To think he could have been a could have been a part of the Cubs rotation right now.
Yeah.
But
that'd look nice.
Want to say
does he wear 84 on the Cubs, or is that a White Sox thing?
It might
the
be.
White Sox have some conspiracy going on where they all choose really bad baseball numbers. It's like a unique thing because we got a 74, a 73, an 88, and 84.
Yeah,
so
makes it a little unique,
a little bit.
Instead of your typical 19 and
still like that old school
23
guy. Oh, that's not a pitcher's number,
Yeah, God forbid.
Boomer.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Greg is. What's so funny is both Vinny, your dad, and my mom were asking about they're like, so is Greg a boomer? What's all that about? So we gave them the story about that. They were cracking up. So
that's how it is.
We also know that the Sox have been hit by the injury bug recently. Lance Lynn is now on the 10-day DL with knee inflammation. Giolito left early with hamstring tightness. And now Tim Anderson's on the 10-day, which I think is retroactive to yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that. So I mean, I feel like with this team, that's been like the whole theme this whole season, right? The next one guy goes down, the next guy comes up, and every time they've hit, whether it's, Jake Lamb stepping in or, or Danny Mendick or, all these guys that you wouldn't give two thoughts about, but they get thrown into the limelight and they're not amazing, but they're at least keeping the team at above,
keeping it stable,
or treading water. So, I mean, do you think this kind of causes a problem? Do you think there's enough time for these guys to come back and get ready for the playoffs after their injury stints, or what do you think, Greg?
Well, according to these injuries right now, I mean, get this out of the way now. So this isn't a problem, closer to the postseason. But I mean, just like you said, I mean, well, like you mentioned, Lamb, he's gone now. They DFA'd his ass today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Gavin Sheets back up. Billy Hamilton is activated now. So it was just like this ongoing carousel. We didn't have the full strength lineup going for very long, did we?
No, you didn't.
It was going for a little bit and they were mashing a little bit. But I mean, it is, it's just kind of one guy after the other. They are 10 days right now. So, I mean, not what you want to see, but if you can get this stuff solved right now, get them healthy, and then fingers crossed, because we're getting close. So it's going to be right up there to the end of the season. So not too worried, but I mean, that's today and I'm exhausted, so I'd probably be freaking out tomorrow or something. Who knows? But
I can imagine. Well, I mean, thankfully they seem like they have the wherewithal. I mean, they've been persevering all season, right? So, I mean,
I think Gavin
lead.
I know I mentioned Gavin Sheets before. I think he might be here to stay now. So
I think you're right.
With Lamb gone, we got that lefty bat. So I think he's here to stay, which I'm really happy about. So because I really like him.
Well, good. Well, I mean, hopefully they keep going strong. I mean, I don't know. You guys got anything else with the White Sox? I feel bad. We don't have a lot to say, but I feel like they're quietly going along,
I'll let you go in a second, Vinny. But for me, I mean, this is with all that's going on and work and life and everything, like these are the dog days of baseball for me personally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm probably the most unprepared today, but a
That's all right.
lot of this stuff is just, new to me, and I gotta get back in the groove right here and start watching my team again. But we all kind of hit the even with winning season, when we know
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going, like
Yep.
you know me, I'm the boomer. I'm all for the 162 game season all day, every day. But if the postseason started today, I guess I wouldn't put up a fight. So
No,
just put it that way. So
it's perfectly
it's like, hey, if we
understandable.
can get it going today, like, hey, all right. Well, I take that back now with Lance and Tim off on
Right.
the DL. So
Yeah.
now I'll wait.
You
So
wait.
I will happily wait.
What about you, Vinny? You got any other Sox stuff before we move on?
No, kind of like Greg. I mean, they're in first place. They got a good lead.
Yeah,
I mean, there's not much to say. You just kind of nitpick at
Right, other than the
little things. Tony
Yeah.
hasn't done anything too
I know
crazy
it's
recently.
kind of
Yeah, he's gotta
depressing. It's kind of a
do
bummer.
something. Come on, Tony.
I
Say
think he
something.
listened to our episode and he goes, "Oh, I better not win that bet or lose that bet with him." And he's been quiet since we made fun of him for
We
the
really-
Your Mean Mercedes stuff.
We really
Yeah.
gave it to him, and he's like, "Oh, damn, those three guys from Chicago and Wisconsin, they're really gonna, they got their eye on me. I got to take it down a
Yeah.
notch." And then the whole running thing, I mean, that was still hysterical in every which way.
I bet he's proud of that, though. I'm like, yeah,
I think so.
I can still high knee that a little bit.
Yep.
So.
Knees to chest, Tony. Pick up the pace.
Yep.
Pinch runner.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. We're gonna move on to the Cubs. Also, not a whole lot to say about the Cubs. I know, Vinny, you found that Patrick Wisdom is on the verge of breaking Bryant's rookie home run record with the Cubs, which is 26.
Yep.
I did not realize this was previously held by Billy Williams. I mean, that's going back a ways. That's pretty
61.
impressive.
He set that record.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So, I mean, do you think Patrick Wisdom is a part of the, I don't want to say long-term plans, but I don't know,
Couple years.
Next couple of years, you think he's a part of it, or you think they try and ship him out for something else?
Unless they get Chris Bryant, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't sign him. He's going to be cheap. I mean, he plays pretty good defense. There was a web gem on Twitter that I saw that looked pretty good. He had a nice catch and throw. Where's he at for home runs? He's at 25 home runs right now.
Oh,
so
I think he'll make it.
he's
then.
gonna,
He should break that easily.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I think so. He's a power bat. He strikes out too much though.
Yeah.
That's his only issue. That's a big issue that he needs to work on. But I mean, if you're supplementing that in with guys like Nicky Bats and Nico Horner, I think you can maybe live with that high strikeout rate that he's got.
As long as the power is still there,
Yep. But I think he's going to be a cheap option that you could have. And if the DH goes to the NL next year, which from what everybody's been saying, it sounds like that's a kind of a done deal without the CBA being completed yet. That bat off the bench as a DH might not be bad either. Too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, his slash line reminds me a little bit of Schwarber in terms of his home runs and RBIs. He's got 20 something home runs and 50 something RBIs. And, it's almost like an RBI for every 2 RBIs for every home run. And that's about it. But, if he's putting guys on base and bringing them in, I'll take it, especially with the team they have now. There's not much else to say. What about I saw on Twitter today somebody was trying to tell me that Frank Schwindel, Cub legend at this point, Frank Schwindel, they were talking about. They said, well, he should be a part of the long-term plans. This guy's great, and I wanted to say, well, I think he's 30 and he's a career minor leaguer. I don't know if I'd say he's part of the long-term plans, but I mean,
he had another home run tonight.
He did.
Moving all 3 runs.
I would say ride the Schwindel wave as long as we can. And then when
before they figure him out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like that's coming, right? Like otherwise, why wouldn't he have been up 5, 6, 7 years ago, at this point? But it's fun.
Sometimes longer stints in the minors, you learn a lot more and you kind of change your approach a little bit. So yeah, most likely the league figures it out, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also DHing right now. So again, if the DH is going to be in the NL, he's a cheap option for a DH bet, and if you probably sign him for cheap. And so if it doesn't work out and the league figures him out, you just cut bait with him and say, okay, thanks Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Good luck back in the minors.
Right,
Yeah.
you could probably get these guys for like just a little more than Bodie money, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like something right around there for both of them.
I think that sounds about
Hey,
right. Well,
take it, couple million bucks. Hell yeah, sign me up.
Tom Ricketts just jumped up and said, "Great Scott, we don't have to pay that much."
Yeah, how's he not celebrating?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he can afford it now that Greg's not paying for.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
Not actually
Damn
paying
it,
for
Greg.
Now we're not going to
anything
get
right now.
now we're not going to get Frank Schwindel.
Well, I will try. If it comes to YouTube TV, which I'm planning to get, then I'm back on the support train or whatever.
All right.
We as two people who can't watch any of the games, we appreciate it, Craig. Thank you.
I think part of the reason I've been paying attention to the White Sox is because I actually haven't watched them since getting rid of Fubo TV. So
well, that's understandable.
That kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Vinny, do you want to talk about the two call-ups the Cubs had recently?
Yeah, the Cubs called up reliever Scott F. Ross. Not much.
That's how the clubhouse feels.
Yeah. I don't have much about him. This year he was drafted in 2015 by the Cubs in the 15th round, or is it 20? Yeah, 2015 draft. He was drafted in the 15th round. Not too great of numbers. This year he's got between AA and AAA, he's got a whip of .973, but his ERA is 4.15. So either he's not, he's giving up home runs or striking guys out or getting them out. So we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah.
And then the guy I'm really excited about, Alfonso Rivas, first baseman. This guy I'm hoping is going to be around for the long haul. This year at Iowa, his slash line was 284, 405, and a 411 slugging with an OPS of 816.
Holy
this guy
cow.
is a on-base machine. Is it on 2019 between A plus high A ball and AAA, he had a slash line of 292, 387, 423, 810 OPS. And he actually did better in AAA than in high A. He had a batting average of 406, on-base percentage of 441, and a slugging of 625. It was only in 8 games, though. But this guy, great play appearances. Gets on base a lot. And he's first baseman, plays great defense. So maybe he's going to replace Rizzo. But I'm sure all the Rizzo fans out there don't want to hear that because they want him to bring him back probably for the But
no thanks.
This guy can do it. I'm all for it. So.
Yeah. You know what? That's fine. Especially if he doesn't have a bad back, all the better. So
he's only 24 years old too. So
that works for me. That definitely works for me. So I don't know. I feel bad. I've listened to a couple games on the way home. I've been checking the box score and seeing what's going on. But much like Greg, with this being the dog days of summer and the fact that the team is not going anywhere, out of it, like really out of it. It's been kind of hard to watch a time. Well, I can't watch. What am I talking about? It's been hard to listen at times, but at least, checking in here and there. And like you said, Vinny, with some of these call-ups, especially with the rosters expanding today, that's kind of like the only thing to look forward to is to see what some of these guys can do, that they're going to give a chance, right? That are like on the cusp on the 40 man, so we'll see what happens. But that's it. That wraps up Cubs talk. Around the MLB, Vinny, I think you brought this up. This was, I thought, a really interesting question. Kyle Schwarber back from his injury. You said, I know you found from Bleacher Nation, since he's returned from his hamstring injury with Boston, he's hit a 385 batting average, a 529 on base, and a 641 slugging percentage over 12 games. He is now hitting 353, 453 on base, and an 862 since mid-June. And he's batting 290, 395 on base, and 645 slugging. That's 172 plate appearances or games. I'm assuming plate appearances, right? Because I think he was out for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Since the last day of April. He's really doing good. All it took was for him to leave the Cubs, and he became kind of what they expected, right?
Well, that and I think the foreign substance.
Yes,
because he didn't really take off until after that.
After that,
yeah.
That's a good point. If we ask the question, should the Cubs bring him back? selfishly, I'd be okay with it. I mean,
I don't think they'll be able to afford him.
no, I don't. I think he's kind of
I
playing.
don't think he'd want to go back.
No,
the price
no.
was right.
No,
Yeah.
I think
Boston.
he's playing himself into a higher tier of free agency at this point.
Yep.
And, as a DH, yes. And I'll be honest, like towards the end of his career with the Cubs, I thought he was an okay left fielder. I mean, was he great? Yeah. No, but I think he was
better than
serviceable.
Eloy.
He was serviceable, right? Like I think
everyone's
arm,
better than Eloy. Justin Vinny better than Eloy.
Look at these guns
not.
right here. Look at these guns.
Not me.
Greg, there's a reason I played the infield in baseball, not the outfield. But no, like, like I said, as a DH, yes. And then as a okay left fielder, like I'm totally okay with that. Like I would be fine with that. Like you said, it's not going to happen, but wherever he goes, I think they're going to get a decent power hitting left field / DH, and good for him. I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, and it's nice to see his career kind of improve, especially after that comeback in 2016 in the World Series, where he just kind of took the league by storm there for that World Series.
Mm-hmm.
in the was it the AL? No, not the AL. Sorry, the NLCS was when he came back, right? Or was it the World Series?
No, he came back in the World Series.
It was the World Series. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Because
much to everyone's shock, I'm like,
he had the brace on and everything else. So. The only other thing I guess we have for the MLB is the lowly Mets, which I don't, as Greg is giving a thumbs down, he's pulling a Baez or Lindor. I don't know which one, but
or the fans.
Or the fans.
Yeah. Or a White Sox fan giving my opinion on the whole organization in the city. But that's just...
I beg whoever is a Mets fan, whether it's Jack Lugo out there, Jack from Disney on the Rocks, or I think our guys from the 3 Spot blog.
It's Jeff from Disney on the Rocks, right?
Yes,
you said Jack. Yeah.
Oh,
you said Jack.
Oh, I meant Jack Lugo. I'm sorry. Yes, Jeff from
Too many
Disney
J's.
Yeah.
Yes. We can't keep track. One of you guys write in and tell us. I know we talked to Jeff a little bit about it last week, but I guess if you haven't heard or if you haven't been listening, in terms of the Mets this week, last week, there's been a lot of booing. Obviously, the team has played awful lately, so the fans have been really giving it to the Mets team and the players. And then Javi Baez, Cubs favorite, and Francisco Lindor came up with this thing where after they got a hit on the base path, they were giving everybody the thumbs down, correct?
Yeah.
I think pretty much, or any... Yeah,
I think
sort of happening.
I think it was everybody on the team, but I think
so.
They came up with it.
But here's where I don't understand is that's fine. You want to do some weird thing, thumbs down, fine. Don't come out and tell the media and the fans that it's directed towards them. Like, how dumb are you? Like, what are you? There is no good that comes of this at all. Like, if you want it to be like, yeah, look at us, thumbs down to the other team, or some other bullshit, whatever. But why would you admit, no, it's to the fans? Like, what good is going to come of this? Can you guys think of anything? Like, why? I don't understand the rationale behind this. Like, it blows my mind.
Greg, do you want to go first?
Do you have something to say? Looks like you're long. You're ready to load
he's
up
locked
there.
And loaded.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
No, I'll just go quick. I'll just say because it's... Vinny has a much stronger opinion on this than I do. I just think everything. I just think the Mets are dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry, John. All of you out there. I think the Mets just stink. So everything stinks. Stink. Stunk. That is my 5th grade answer.
Now I'm just picturing
that's the best vocabulary. That's the same words I had for Rise of Skywalker. It's on that sort of level right now.
You guys remember the critic with the guy, what was his name? But it was a cartoon, and he would just say it stinks, and that was like the whole premise of the cartoon. It was with the Simpsons. He did a guest spot too.
What was that? Oh,
Jay Sherman, but I can't remember.
Yes.
John Lovitz. John Lovitz was the character.
Yeah.
And he was a movie critic, and he would just be like, "It stinks.
It stinks. It stinks." Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
That's what I think of when I think of the Mets, and I feel horrible. Like I don't want to be like this condescending a-hole from Chicago talking shit about.
I'll be the
team.
condescending a-hole, but it's. I don't think this is enough for me to formulate intelligent. Well, not that I have any. I don't have a decent thought about this because it's just like, just more crap that I just don't want to waste my time with.
Yeah.
But Vinny has definitely given this more
All right,
thought.
Vinny,
I have much better opinion.
Well,
I got Vinny.
So let's give him the floor.
Spent way too much time on Twitter and all the Cubs fans defending Baez. Okay, first off, what's really wrong with booing?
No, I mean, nothing. I don't understand.
It is kind of,
I boo my own team.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they're not playing well, you go to a game to be entertained. If you're not being entertained and they're playing bad, booing is like the least bit offensive thing you can do at a game.
I would agree.
Yeah.
There's no racial slurs. You're not swearing at any player.
You're not throwing stuff on the field.
Exactly. As long as you're just booing, there's nothing wrong with that.
And especially on the East, like they invented that almost.
Oh yeah.
Booing's been around since the medieval times. These gladiator, they were probably booing.
in the Roman Colosseum.
Gladiators. Yeah.
They gave the thumbs down when the guy was ready to be killed.
Exactly. So thumbs down has been around forever.
Maybe Baez is just a big history fan. I don't know. Maybe
exactly. And
I doubt it.
No.
For the players, to be upset about it. Okay, I get that. They are trying out there. They're not giving up. And to do the thumbs down, back at the fans, to boo the fans back, it's silly. It's kind of a lame thing to get back at the fans. But again, this kind of spawned the whole Seinfeld thing. It's the as Jerry would say, the ultimate, going and booing and hissing the people that boo you, getting back at them. Okay, you guys, they do that. It's not a big deal. Our fans should fans really be upset if a player did that back at me? If they, I was right behind home plate and I'm booing a player and he gets a home run, stares me down and boos me, I'd laugh, I'd shake my head. Yeah, you're right.
That's awesome.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Javi Baez looked at me. Cool.
Will you take a selfie with me, please?
Yeah. Exactly. But to be upset as a fan that they're booing you back because you're booing them and they're just, it's silly, it's stupid.
I would agree.
It's not offensive.
No.
And then for the Mets management to step in and just lay the hammer down. That just absolutely that made the whole thing moronic. The Javi Baez didn't have to say, we were doing it the fans. Like, he could have made up something. He was honest. There's nothing wrong with being honest. You want a player to be honest. Okay, he's doing it towards the fans. Okay, but why would ownership come in? Were they they must have been getting a lot of calls, or they're just bad at their jobs, which I'm going to probably say is the latter. But maybe they're getting a bunch of calls from fans, complaining, I'm going to, revoke
cancel my ticket.
Yeah, it's probably a good mix of both, actually.
Yeah.
But, to do that, to then say, we're going to make sure the players don't boo the fans. All they had to do is say, hey, we're going to deal with this in-house. We're going to talk.
Done.
We're going to have a team meeting. We're going to talk about this and leave it at that. You don't say we're going to stop them from booing. Like, come on. Like, what are you doing? Just
I don't
push it away. Let it go away.
Yeah.
Don't make it anything bigger than it has to be. But they did do that. And for Cub fans to be like, we would never boo Javi Baez. I went back and I listened to the
been booed before?
Yep. I listened to the audio of when he got thrown out after his base running gaffe. There were boos in the background. I heard them. You can hear them too if you go back and listen to it. It's not loud, no, but it's there. People were booing and they were upset because he did something stupid. It's okay to boo somebody for doing something stupid and being bad at what they're doing and being
absolutely
horrible at what they're doing. So I don't know. The whole thing is, Greg, you put it exactly, stink, stunk. Like, it's just stupid.
I totally forgot that the team came out and released a statement, Vinny. I'm glad you brought that up. I already forgot about that.
That was the cherry on top of me. That is like, oh my God, we have completed the trifecta of idiocy. Well done, New York Mets.
I feel like in the big scheme of things, him giving a thumbs down is really not a big deal. I think it's stupid that they admitted it, but at the same time, I mean, it was it Roger McDowell when he was with the Yankees and he flipped off Yankee Stadium? Does that sound right, Greg? You probably know
also spit on fans.
Yeah. and you got like guys like John Rocker when he was with the Braves doing some really horrible shit. This going like this. I saw like the New York Post, like their headline was like Baez gives the city down. I'm like, come on.
That's New York,
it's not
man.
It's not like he's giving the finger to the fans.
No.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
And then the kicker is then the next day he gets a walk-off hit and everyone loves him again. So
no, he was the winning run.
Oh, was he the winning run? Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
All right. But like
No. But I mean, still, yeah.
You can't. Yeah, it's like, hey, we love you. Oh, we hate you. Oh, we love you. Oh, it really is a what have you done for me lately? And
they're done.
I would imagine Baez will not be a Met next year. Probably not a Yankee either. After all this, I don't know if they would sign. I think the PR hit would probably be too much, right? I don't know.
He's gonna be an Oriole.
I was gonna say the Rays. I don't have any fans showing up.
Yeah, that's
he's got
makes a lot of sense.
Nobody can boo
Miami.
Well, they have Wander though. He can play second though. So
yeah. So, and then to top it off, after the Mets issued their statement saying we don't condone our team giving the fans thumbs down. I don't know. Then their GM, who was the interim GM for the guy that was also a horrible human being and dare I say like a sexual predator almost.
Yep.
How about shitbag?
Yeah, that works too. Their interim GM was just charged with drunk driving after leaving Steve Cohen's home, who is the owner of the Mets, where they had a team fundraiser. I can't remember the Mets organization. So, maybe I'm off base here. You guys tell me. I feel like, first of all, you should never drink and drive, number one. But number two, it's 2021. There's ride sharing everywhere. And you're the GM. You're making good money. How hard would it have been to just make a phone call, say, hey, I'm leaving my car here. I'll be back in the morning to get it. Or have someone else from the organization make a phone call and have a service come and pick them up. Not that hard, but
maybe the owner, the billionaire owner, should have cars set up to take people home.
He should, especially what these people are going through. Having to work for the team.
Right?
That he got hammered.
Yeah,
just wanted to get the hell out of here. That's why I'm not defending him by any means because this is trash. But
yeah.
It's just like, just one right after the other. It's like the scene of the Seinfeld finale when Newman's there and he goes, and I'll be there watching as it all comes crumbling down. That's pretty much what's going. It's all crumbling down.
Yeah.
Right now.
So please, if you are a Mets fan, write in. I'd love to know what it's like right now. I feel like in the last week, the team has. It's like, I salute you because
we want to hear what's going on. Jack and I spoke on it briefly, and I mean, this was like a couple days ago already, but he was still remaining pretty positive. So Jack's a positive guy, though. It's hard to crush his spirits when he knows Bond movie's on the way. So
there's
the happy man all around
on the horizon.
You can crush my spirit just about anything. So,
all right. Well, I could sit here and trash on the Mets all day, but I won't because I know we have Mets fan listeners, so I don't want to do that. But we say
it with all the love, guys.
Yes.
We love all you.
With all due respect.
That is because as Cubs fans, we've been through a lot of crap too. Whether it's corked bats or fighting with rooftop owners over stupid stuff, and a little bit of everything. So we understand how you feel.
You feel free to write in and say, "Hey, I think your White Sox stink," and I'll be like, "Yeah, they kind of do." So George, Frank Costanza style.
They're 10 games ahead instead of 11. Those jerks.
Those jerks.
Like that. So,
I don't like that Tony La Russa. Me either.
Yeah, that was a good Chicago call-in fan.
I guess that'd be a local guy.
That would be a local guy.
It would be a Bob.
Bob from what was the subject with
there was Bob from Milwaukee. There was Bob from Oak Park.
Yes.
Was that right? Oh, I don't know.
Right. Was there Bob from
Skokie too? Skokie? Was
no.
No, I don't.
I can't think of it now, but we have listenership there. We do. You're right. I've checked the anchor listings, and one of them popped up. Niles, Bob from Niles. Yes, that's
Bob
it.
from Niles.
If you don't know what we're talking about, those are just some named callers that call into the sports station out here, and they are horrible. They usually get disconnected very quickly.
Actually, now that I've purchased a new vehicle, I can actually listen to the score again because it has a working radio, unlike the previous car. So look at that. I'm high tech, baby.
Long live Greg's Mustang. We will never forget it.
14 years.
Serves you well.
Kind of like George's LeBaron.
Well, that is a perfect segue. So like Vinny said, all this Mets talk made us think of the Seinfeld show. And we are Seinfeld fans. Obviously, a couple months ago, we did a Seinfeld episode breaking down our favorite secondary characters.
Yep.
But this time, my lovely wife wrote down the names of some Seinfeld episodes at random, put them in a hat. I got my official Mighty Ducks hat right here.
There we go.
And I'm going to draw them randomly, and then we are going to rank them. So are you boys ready for the ranking of some random Seinfeld episodes from best to worst?
Yes. I hope the fire's in there.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Are you going to cue the music, Justin?
I am cueing the music now. Click. I'm doing it telepathically. It will be on the recording, though. I promise you. All right, here we go. All right. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's get some audio. You can hear the
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good.
there. All right, here we go. Number 1, season 7, The Showerhead.
All right.
Oh, boy.
All right. Nice.
And we will, and let me preface this by saying we will, if you're not sure what these episodes are, if you're not the biggest Seinfeld fan, I think Vinny looked up a little bit of a rundown on each one we can talk about. So, if it doesn't jog your memory, I know exactly what episode that is because that's a great one. I think of it whenever we have low water pressure. All right, number 2 is The Frogger, season 9, also a great episode. Man, Erica picked some bangers. These are good episodes.
Slippery Pete.
Yep. Holes.
Holes.
Yes.
Holes. I need holes.
All right, number 3.
Oh, you mean the holes?
Now, this one I don't remember, so I will definitely need a synopsis on this one. This is season 8, The Little Kicks.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I don't remember that one.
That's Elaine dancing.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's a great
Yeah.
one. All right. Number 4, we got season 4, the movie.
Is that when they go see
I think so.
Go see all try to see
Oh, where they're all
not
in the theater.
Rochelle.
They end up all saying that. Yeah.
Where did they go to
Checkmate?
Was it Checkmate? Yeah, I think that's right.
It wasn't Sack Lunch. I know that much. All right.
Yeah.
In the last
How'd they
one,
get in there?
one of my favorites, and I think this is actually one of Erica's favorites too. Season 3, The Parking Garage.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. That's interesting. I always thought that was like this first season. I didn't realize that was season.
No, that
3.
was well, it's still pretty early on.
Oh man, I'm looking at some of the other ones she wrote down in here. These are all gems.
How many did she do?
I think she did 10. So there's
okay. That's pretty good.
There's some the Chinese restaurant, the Bubble Boy, the calzone. That's a good one. I like the calzone. All right, so
Costanza's in the building.
Yeah.
all right, so our 5 that we are going to rank. We got season 7, The Showerhead, season 9, Frogger, season 8, The Little Kicks, season 4, season 4, the movie, and season 3, The Parking Garage. Do we want to start with a little synopsis, or do we want to just rank them and do the synopsis as we rank them?
Maybe. I don't know. Greg, you pick.
Probably let's do a brief synopsis on each one, maybe.
I got them all up, so.
All right, Vinny, take it away.
Starting with the shower head, Kramer and Jerry are not pleased with the new low-flow shower heads that the building maintenance people have put in for them. Elaine is surprised to find out that she has tested positive for opium. Jerry is frustrated by the fact that his parents aren't moving back to Florida, and George is elated because his parents are considering moving to Florida. The Frogger. After childhood pizzeria goes out of business, George tries to save his high score from a Frogger game by purchasing the machine. Elaine tires of company birthdays by calling in sick. She is then forced to replace a cake from 1937 with an Entenmann's cake.
It's
the little
Entenmann's.
Yeah. The Little Kicks. Jerry and Kramer go to the movies with a friend who makes bootleg tapes.
Brody.
Elaine holds a party for her coworkers where she loses respect when they see her dance.
That's a great one. That's a good
movie. Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer keep missing each other when trying to meet for a movie. Doesn't say which movie it is. And The Parking Garage. Jerry, Elaine, George, and Kramer get lost in the mall, in a mall parking garage after shopping for an air conditioner.
All right.
And I just remembered Kramer throwing the air conditioner pretty much around that episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Leaves
man.
it at purple 23.
Yep.
All right. So there's
Which he forgets.
Yes,
Yes.
that's thank God he did. Otherwise, they would have an episode. All right, so we're gonna start. Number 5. Where would you guys like to start? Greg, you want to start us off? What's your number 5?
Number 5. First of all, gotta preface this by saying I love all these episodes.
These are all great episodes,
and this was very difficult, but not that difficult. So number 5 for me is the movie.
Yes.
Like I said, great episode. I mean, it's an interesting. It's a very interesting story. Going back and forth, being out of one movie theater trying to save.
Yeah.
I think the saving seats scene for me when Elaine finally gets the hang of it.
Mhm.
Is, it's just really fun. Then she just gives up in the end.
Yep.
It's like, oh, the hell with it when she knows they're not coming back. The second part I really like about it, but is how the movie ticket guy. George keeps forgetting his stub, and he refuses to let him back in. But then
It's like, you just saw me,
right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, can I just look for my friend? And he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Like he just personally has it out for George.
Yeah.
So, great episode, but I just like some of these other ones better. I'll let you guys speak on more.
I will also not to jump Vinny, but I also had the movie for number 5. It's a really good episode. Yeah, I think for all the reasons you said, gosh, it's going to kill me now what movie they were watching. But
it was Checkmate.
Was it Checkmate?
It up.
Okay.
Yep.
That whole premise of saving seats, like that's the thing I love about Seinfeld is it takes these really mundane, stupid things that nobody thinks about. But then in the moment, at least somebody who's got major anxiety, like going to the movies pre-COVID, I would freak out when I would meet people. I'd be like, oh God, what if someone needs to sit here and I, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like
sit next to me.
Someone's going to take the seat I have for my wife, stuff like that, but no, like just in the fact that they hit on that so well. Greg's dying over here. It's
true though.
It's true.
It's all true. We've all felt it. It's like, I don't want some jackass sitting there.
No.
I'm pretending to save a seat next to me. So no one will sit next to me.
I will never forget, and I know we're running long, but I will never forget. We went to go see the Queen movie. I can't remember what it was called now. With Freddie Mercury, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Thank you. And we sat down, and this guy. Now the whole theater's there. We went like at a matinee. The whole theater's open. This guy sits right next to me and Erica, and he brings a backpack with him, which red flag.
Oh, Justin, I've been doing too good.
Nope, not good. And then, so I'm looking over. And these are the fancy reclining seats. So I lower my seat, like I'm ready to make a move if I got to, like, because Erica's next to him, and if he starts reaching for something, you're gonna
push Erica out of the way. And run out.
User the human shield.
It's gonna be like the fire episode from Seinfeld. No, so I'm watching this guy. And he reaches into his backpack, and I hear he's got glass in his backpack, and I'm like, "Oh God, what is he going to try and stab us? What's he going to do?"
Justin,
this is taking a strange
turn. It turns out he had a bottle of Captain Morgan, and he was just mixing himself a Captain and Coke to watch the movie.
Oh,
there you go.
And I was like, you know what? This is my guy. I like this guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to shoot up the theater
or stab you with the glass.
Yeah. Thankfully, that is before I found medication for my anxiety, so I don't worry about that anymore. All right, not to jump off task here. Vinny, what was your number 5?
My number 5 actually was the movie, so we're all on par. One for one right now.
Not surprised. It's a good episode, but not as strong as some of the others.
Yep, pretty much all the points that you made, Greg, were great. I love and was that the one also where they were kept they were describing each other? Flared nostrils, and
face like a horse, stuff like that.
Yeah, and then Kramer going to Papaya King to get his hot dog.
Yeah, a papaya hot dog.
That sounds really good. I could go for one right now.
Oh yeah. The other part of that quick is this really annoying other comedian that Jerry has to deal with and like share cabs with the whole night.
Oh
Is that Buckle? Or is that Buckles? Or is that It's not Banya, is it?
No, it's not Banya. It was before Banya. I forget his name, but he's asking him, Jerry, would you mind if I do this, Jerry? What about
that's the prop comic, isn't it?
The prop comic. Yeah, he's the prop comic, I think.
Yeah. His name wasn't Buckles?
It might have been. I can't remember. I think you're right, Vinny. But that was kind of another interesting take over this guy as Jerry has to deal with the whole night, and I'm sure we've all been there.
Yes.
I won't shut up and leave us alone. So
oh yeah.
That's what these two guys say about me, but
no, never.
That's Pat Buckles.
Pat Buckles. That's right. That's
Look
right.
at you, Vinny. Woof.
Vinny is the Seinfeld connoisseur here.
He is.
All right. Number 4, Greg, what do you got?
Number 4 for me is the parking garage.
Same here. Same one for me.
Same here.
Oh, really? I really like the scene. It's a funny episode. It's really well done because it's all shot in this parking garage where you can't find your car. Another moment where, kind of like in the old days, if you don't remember,
that doesn't age well, though.
Yeah, no. I know. It's nowadays you just know, but I'm sure that's happened to many people in the 90s. But it's just all the shenanigans they go through. I would say my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes is when George is trying. There's the little jerk kid and the mom's dragging him along and gives him a smack on the ass, and George's like, "Is that George Butson? Is that really necessary?" He was like, "Mind your own business," as he should. And then the kid just tells him, "You're ugly." He's like, "You're ugly. That's what you think. That's what I know." And then he just gets in the car.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's just so perfect.
Or George picking up that lady and then offending the Scientology.
The Scientology? I don't even know L. Ron Hubbard.
I didn't know you were with them.
Right. And then the whole peeing.
Euromycetitis.
Right. I know we've been there. So.
I know this is gonna be hard to believe, but when I was a kid, I was always worried that if I didn't have enough time to go to the bathroom, I would develop uromycetitis because of this episode.
There you go.
It
helped you potty train. Look at that.
Yes. And I love the side story that Elaine, for some reason, goes to a pet store and gets fish, and she's worried. And her fish are dying in the bag. So
and then George has to be back in time to pick up his parents for the anniversary. And that never happens.
I love
because Kramer's car dies in the end.
Yeah, so it was too late anyway, but they could never get it started after everyone had already left.
I love the quote. I pulled it up on IMDb. It's from George. It says, "If I'm not in front of my building at 6:15 when my parents get there, they're going to put me in an aggravation installment plan that will compound with interest for decades." So
hey, that almost ended up being canon. That was they kept that continuity going pretty well.
They did.
We didn't even meet George's parents at that point. I don't think.
No, you're right. No, that it is a very good episode. I would agree. Even though it's our number 4 for all of us, which is pretty cool. Still a very good episode. All right, number 3. I guess since we all we'll go back to Greg. Greg, what's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is the Frogger.
Same here.
Anyone?
Oh no!
Oh no! Not quite. Okay.
This is where we deviate.
Okay.
All right, same here.
The Frogger is amazing. It's kind of like. I love the whole idea of the pizza place closing down, and then the kid playing the Frogger machine ended up being on that Nickelodeon show. Drake and Josh or something.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, the guitar kid, and then I feel for George trying to keep his record alive,
his legacy. Yeah,
the whole this is what he had to his name pretty much, which is kind of sad in itself. But the whole the whole idea of Pete Stamar, who played Slippery Pete, that shady electrician, trying the whole scheme.
Oh, it was so good
to keep the machine alive, and then not only to be destroyed in the end, but George is actually playing Frogger for real is just so perfect. So
there's oh my gosh, there's
like that. I love
Slippery Pete says, "I need a battery for this kind of job. Can I at least steal a battery?" Because wasn't it about they wanted to do something illegal to get?
Yeah, they wanted to steal.
Steal something.
So he's like, "Can I steal the battery?" And George says, "Fine, steal the battery. All right, here's Frogger. This is the front door, and this is the outlet." So he's got his map, and then Slippery Pete says, "What is that?" Referring to the outlet. And George says, "That's where the electricity comes from." And he says, "Oh, you mean the holes?" And then I love when George is, panicking because they wear the battery down on they're
playing in the game.
They're playing the game when it's on the extra battery after it's been unplugged. And he's like, I need holes. And he's just screaming. And then, of course, they go to the Frogger view where it's him going back and forth.
Yeah.
And they play the music.
That was really cool. That was
I love that episode. And then one of my favorite things, I think, is I can't remember if it's a semi or what type of car it is, but it's barreling towards him when he gets stuck.
It's a semi.
I know this doesn't play for the audio version, but he literally just stands there and goes,
Yeah, very.
Like he's got this
tries to stop him.
and then he dives out of the way, and then the Frogger's destroyed. And you hear like the sound like and it plays out. But there's another quote in here that I very vaguely remember, and it's just knowing that Kramer is friends with these guys that are a little shady. And
of course he is.
Slippery Pete says, you took my mail order bride, and Cosmo Kramer says you weren't home, so I signed for her.
Yeah.
So that just cracks me up every time I hear that quote as well. So yeah, that's my number 3 as well. I love that episode. There were so many times as a kid after seeing that episode, I would, when we'd go to the arcade or, be somewhere where there's an arcade machine, it's like, I could be like George. I could get my name on here and keep it here for 20 something years.
You don't want to be
happened.
like George though.
No, you don't. No. You don't. I would like to work for a baseball team, but I don't want to be George either.
Do you guys remember what his middle name is or his middle initial?
No, what was it? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was George Louis Costanza, if I remember correctly.
ELK.
So that does sound right.
That does sound good. Vinny, what was your number 3 since you differentiated here from us?
My number 3, and it was tough between the two. But my number 3 was the Little Kicks.
Ooh, okay. All right. What made you think that was number 3? Or what made you feel that was number 3?
I mean, I liked it. I thought it. I mean, it was really hard. The 1, 2, and 3, I probably could have easily flip-flop them around if I thought hard enough. But I don't know. The movie with the bootleg tapes, I think they go to see Death Blow first. And,
preview of Death Blow,
And it's Brody, right?
Yes.
Kramer's
that guy
that
is
he
so
gets
weird.
an extra ticket for, that he brings a giant bag of candy that he eats himself, and then he gets sick, and Jerry has to sit there and shoot it himself because Kramer has to go and tend to him or something.
Yeah, take him home or something.
Yeah. And then, and so then he shoots the best bootleg copy out there, and Brody comes back with like a bat or something like that and a gun to force Jerry to film more for him. And then he has Kramer shoot was a cry again.
Cry again.
It's awful because Kramer's sitting there looking at his popcorn and laughing at the guy next to him, which I don't know. Cry again sounded like a very serious title. I don't know why Kramer would be laughing.
Yeah, it just must have been. He probably didn't get what was going on.
Exactly. So. But that whole thing was great. And then Jerry going back for the last time trying to like get like a bunch of different cameras in there to get better picture and stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to go for a master setup. Yeah. He wants to walkie the other cameraman or whatever.
Exactly. He needs
walkie-talkies. Like, just get the damn tape done,
Exactly. And then the whole side story with Elaine being the boss of the Peterman catalog and inviting George to the holiday party where she kicks, does her little dance in the kicks, which I like to whip out that dance move whenever I'm at a wedding or something like that. But that was another great side story.
It made for a great gift too. The sweet fancy Moses.
Yes, I use that one a lot.
Yeah, that's one of your personal favorites.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
that's
always glad when that gets sent over the top.
Yes. It
works on so many levels.
It does.
It does. It really does. Greg, what was your number 2?
My number 2 was the shower head.
Oh, good choice. Good choice.
That is, I love when kind of, Jerry and Newman, they're kind of arch enemies, but there's always something special when they kind of go
work
together for the greater good.
Yes.
And they all kind of go hands in right there, even though Jerry's not, too into it or whatever. But, the finding the maximum power in that black market showerhead dealer.
Guy.
That is just masterful. He's like, I don't sell that one. Whatever the name of it was called, like the Commando 8000.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the one we want.
Elephants. Yeah. Just blast them away at the end of the shower.
Exactly.
So I also feel that too. I mean, I remember I had to, when Ashley and I got our first apartment, that's the first thing I had to do was change the shower head because it was very low flow. So I bought a new shower head. It was great. So great that I still own it today. So
excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
But first thing I thought of is like, now I can finally relate to this. So
yeah. It's kind of sad that we're getting to that point where all these things are making more sense to us as we're, approaching that age range. My number 2 was Little Kicks. Everything Vinny said. I love that episode. I was pulling up some more stuff just to refresh my memory. That is also the and I can't remember if you guys mentioned this already, but that was also the spot where George is trying to be like the bad boy.
Yep.
With
he's got his dad's
GTO.
GTO, that's right.
GTO, yeah.
And that's with the girlfriend at the time. I think her name was Anna. I want to say.
Yeah.
And Elaine is, he's a bad seed. He's a horrible seed. Stay away from him. And I love this quote. This is between George and Jerry. George says, "I'm the bad boy. I've never been the bad boy."
Yeah.
And Jerry says, "Well, you've been the bad employee, the bad son, the bad friend, the bad fiance, the bad dinner guest, the bad credit risk." And he goes, "Yeah, you've made your point." Then he goes, "The bad date, the bad sport, the bad citizen, and the bad tipper."
The bad tipper was the last one.
Bad tipper. And then I also like Jerry, like, even though he hates having to record these movies, all of a sudden he takes on this like Robin Hood quality about like giving these bootleg movies to kids. And I love this quote. It says, "I don't care about Brody. I was up at 96th Street today. There was a kid, couldn't have been more than 10 years old. He was asking a street vendor if he had any bootlegs of Death Blow. That's who I care about. The little kid who needs bootlegs because his parent or guardian won't let him see the excessive violence and strong sexual content you and I take for granted." So, I for all the reasons, obviously Elaine's dancing, and I will never forget when I think it's Brody comes to pick up the last recording. And he goes, "Well, it's weird." I think it was Cry Cry Again, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like,
when Elaine records over
Elaine records herself dancing over the video, and he's like, "Well, it starts off, however, and then this woman makes this drastic appearance, and you're gonna watch her dance, and you're gonna cry, and then you cry again, and just it adds to it." So no, that was my number 2, Little Kicks. So
I'm so glad that ending was never actually tied up. Like, you never know what Brody would think when he found out that's what happened. You kind of leave it up to your imagination. And
Exactly.
by the time you get to the next episode, it's already forgotten about.
They're
all just kind of like one-offs almost. So
yes. Vinny, what was your number 2?
My number 2 was the Frogger.
Good choice.
Yep, pretty much what you guys said about the Frogger aspect of the episode, but also the reason I put it at number 2 was the whole Entenmann's cake debacle.
Yeah, that's right.
Her Elaine being tired of the company birthday, so she doesn't get any more cake, but now she needs a sugar rush, so she goes in and starts eating Jay Peterman's cake that he bought, which was like the Duchess.
It was a royal wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a royal wedding that he got. Yep, from 1937, and he's got it. He's got it sitting in his refrigerator, and so Elaine takes a little slice of it, but it didn't taste good, but she found it to be romantic that she was eating the cake. So she eats the rest of it. And then, she has to replace it with an Entenmann's cake. And I think the quote from the cake, what's the word I'm looking for? The cake, like authenticator to make sure that the cake was really from the wedding.
Yes.
Goes there and tells him it's from the Entenmann's, and he goes, "Are they rich or royal family?" He goes, "No, they have a display case on the end of the aisle or something like that."
Isn't there something too where he's like, I can't remember the exact number, but he's like, "Oh, this cake would be about $315," and he goes, $315,000. I paid a mere $100,000. That's my whole
right.
He goes, "No, I mean $3.15." It's an Entenmann's. Yes. So.
and then Peterman thinks that he's been swindled and everything, and then he's got a secret camera and he finds Elaine's been dancing, but he doesn't fire her because he says the punishment of the old frosting in her sting in her stomach is going to be punishment enough.
Exactly,
which I imagine it would be. Yeah. Dismissed at the end.
Yes,
great character.
So good.
Also, really, really quick. I mean, guys, as far as I know, Entenmann's are just like the little donuts. And I've never seen an Entenmann's cake like that.
I've had Entenmann's coffee cake. I've never had
like a I mean, that cake looks amazing.
It does.
Like number one.
Does.
That yellow cake with the white frosting. It's like I've never seen anything from Entenmann's like that before.
No, maybe they made cakes in the 90s, or maybe an East Coast thing.
I was gonna say I think it's an East Coast thing or something. Like we'll
have to ask our Met fans.
Yes.
Yeah, Mets fans right in is Entenmann's out. Can we get a cake like that? Because all we got here are the donuts.
Entenmann's cakes aren't good enough to make it out to the Midwest.
Not saying I'm complaining about what we have, but
but it could be better.
I wouldn't mind taking.
Wouldn't mind a slice of cake. Yeah.
For $3.15 too. I guess that was the price in the '90s, but
yeah, it's probably more like $5 now. $6.
probably.
Oh man, Greg, let's start off our number ones. Greg, what's your number one?
Little Kicks for me, one of my favorite episodes. And I think my favorite, part of this. I mean, I love like one with the multiple storylines going on. I love one a little more than I love both of these equally.
Yes.
I think it just flows so well. I love the whole. I love the character. I love the whole death blow experience they have together. Yeah. Just a little. Just when Jerry first sees the recording going on for the first time, it's like, "Can I talk to you a minute?" What? Outside! He just starts freaking out right there. And then he has that line. I don't remember what it is exactly. It's like, first, I have to get an extra ticket for this guy. Then he gets sick. And then I'm forced to record the rest of the movie at gunpoint. That's like, it's so true. Kramer gets Jerry involved once again.
Yeah. It's so good.
And then the whole storyline of, George, pretending to be the bad boy.
Yeah, bad boy.
I think we've all tried to do that a little bit to impress the ladies, but he just goes to the next level. And then his girlfriend's so nosy and everything. They're driving in the GTO, and then or when they're first there at the park, and she's like, "Is that your orthopedic back pillow?" Yeah, and he's like, "Maybe."
Doesn't he throw it out the window?
Isn't it? Yeah.
No, that was later. That's when.
Oh, was that later? Okay.
That's when he claims to be a bootlegger.
Bootlegger, yeah.
Like, I'm a bootlegger, baby. I could do hard time for this one and community service. And then he throws that one in there.
Yeah. And then he's caught crying at the police station. Crying.
But in between that, she finds the FiberCon in the club box.
Yeah, that's right.
They'll keep you regular pills. Go ahead, Justin.
I was going to say, I'm glad you brought that up about the police station. Isn't that where Elaine and Frank Costanza get into a fight? And
you want a piece of me?
Piece of me? Yeah.
One of the very famous scenes,
Oh, it's
if you look at the outtakes, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was just dying during that scene while while Jerry Stiller's remaining a solid rock or whatever. But I couldn't imagine how difficult it was to film that, because he is just so great. Just like
it's
coming to pick up the child that got in trouble being George. So why did the policeman have to yell at me like that? He just crumbles in the end. He's perfectly exposed. So it is just great. And like I said before, Vinny, the sweet fancy Moses, I've appreciated that a lot more since it became a very popular gift. So every time I see that now, I just gets that extra laugh. So I
am so glad. I think it's a month from today that Seinfeld will be back on Netflix. I am looking forward to that. So there's a lot that I got to go back and watch. My number one, you guys have already talked about a little bit, but the shower head.
That was my number one too, Justin.
That was yours, Vinny. Nice. Okay, good. Yep. I'm kind of biased. A couple of years ago, my parents bought a small place in Florida, for vacationing and stuff. And the little gated community they're in, we refer to as Del Boca Vista. And obviously, this episode has a bunch. Anytime they reference Del Boca Vista, I'm all in. A couple things I like about this episode. I had to kind of look up more about the characters. I totally forget Uncle Leo is in this episode. Yes. And that was the whole thing about, Jerry telling him he's lucky to have anybody.
And Absolutely.
He should be grateful that he's got this
that's
girl.
almost the more fun storyline of this episode,
And I had to look up the exact quote, because I just remember him like berating Leo and Jerry Seinfeld. I'm sorry, not Jerry Seinfeld. Leo says, you told me I was in my prime. I should be swinging. And then Seinfeld says, swinging? What are you? Out of your mind? Look at you. You're disgusting. You're bald. You're paunchy. All kinds. I can't even get through this. All sounds are emanating from your body 24 hours a day. If there's a woman that can take your presence for more than 10 consecutive seconds, you should hang on to her like grim death. Which isn't far off, by the way.
Yeah.
He says, but she's an anti-Semite. And he goes, well, can you blame her?
So was the cook at the restaurant, apparently. So.
Yes. And then, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but the funniest part about that was like the complete opposite is what he said right before.
Before
that, he says, "Come on, Uncle Leo, I've seen the way the women look at you. When was the last time you looked in the mirror? You're an Adonis. You've got beautiful features, lovely skin. You're in the prime of your life."
And this is all for his benefit. This is all for Jerry's benefit too. This is the only reason he's even having lunch with Uncle Leo.
Yes,
just because he's got an ulterior motive with his parents to move back in the end. So
and you know, to piggyback off that whole story arc of, you know, George being so happy that Frank and Estelle are moving to Del Boca Vista.
Yes.
You know, in
the buffer zone.
There's the buffer, and it's just George going on, you know, can you believe it? It's finally happening. You know, we could visit them every 5 years. And then the whole premise that they're moving there is just to spite the Seinfelds because they don't think they want them there. And I love this quote I pulled up. It's Frank calling Morty.
Yes.
To kind of bitch him out about him not wanting him in Del Boca Vista. And he goes, "You think you can keep us out of Florida? We're moving in lock, stock, and barrel. We're going to be in the pool. We're going to be in the clubhouse. We're going to be all over that shuffleboard court. And I dare you to keep us out." Like, I love when Frank gets so angry, which is usually every episode. And then there's obviously the third arc of Elaine eating the poppy seed bagel before her drug test for work and you know, coming in positive for opium. And I will admit, when I was, you know, in college getting part-time jobs and then, you know, getting jobs as an adult, I never would eat poppy seed bagels beforehand because I was afraid that would happen. I don't know if that's an urban legend or what, but
don't want to be high on the Shanghai Sally, do you?
Exactly.
And then Peterman talking to her about, you know, you're menopausal, you have the metabolism of a 68-year-old woman because she had Mrs. Seinfeld do her urine sample.
Yes.
And I love that scene where, you know, she's talking to Mrs. Seinfeld about, "I need your urine." And she's like, "Well, should I put it in a coffee cup, a juice glass?" Any
typical
glass?
mom, you know. Jerry doesn't clean these very well.
Yes. So that's my favorite episode. Vinny, I'm glad that was yours too.
I just, the whole like side arc with the Greg, you alluded to it, the opium, the yam, the White Lotus. I love how he knows all of it. Or when Kramer goes to see Elaine because of the low flow shower head. Jerry's got nothing. Newman's got nothing. You're the only one I know that's got the good stuff, and I need it bad, baby.
Not on my watch.
And Peterman runs in and throws him out.
Just tosses, throws him out the door, closes the door, hits him in the face.
Yeah. That's right. Because I forgot they do the thing with they make their hair look terrible.
Everybody's hair.
That's
the only reason
because of the low
Jerry's,
flow.
That's the only
Jerry's
reason.
parents go back low flow. Right. I don't like the sound of that.
It's a Supra. We're installing low flow shower head.
That's great.
Of course, Morty wouldn't like that.
No, then, you know, for the little amount of hair he's got,
And I love the when they're in the black market shower heads, and they're like Newman and Kramer, and they're like, and Newman's like, "Should we get the commando for Jerry?" And Kramer looks at Newman and goes, "Not on Jerry's delicate body," or something along the lines of that. Jerry's too delicate, so they don't get him one.
Right. That's right.
I wonder if it took Newman down when Newman turned it on. Newman's
I don't know. That's
probably
Kramer's a string beam, but I wonder if it got to Newman too. Just
probably.
Now, refresh my memory. That's also not the same episode where Kramer starts cooking in the shower, right? That's a different episode.
No, that's a different
one.
The garbage disposal.
That was the garbage disposal where Buddy helps him put it in.
All right, that's right.
What do you got, a Clarkman?
Yeah, Clarkman.
Yeah.
I eat. Well, I prepared it while I bathe.
The germaphobes.
The germaphobe, that would be my luck.
Underrated scene too. Well, not really underrated, I guess, but when Elaine is freaking out, you know, thinking the lady who thinks she's Susie and she's popping on her phone, rubbing her keyboard on her ass and everything. That is just Elaine's character arc right there. She went from fairly stable to just insane from being around the three.
Being around them. So, oh man, I could sit here and talk Seinfeld all night. But unfortunately, I think that wraps up our top 5. Thank you guys. Greg, you got anything before we wrap up?
No, I had a lot of fun doing everything, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Anytime there's Seinfeld, you know,
you're all
in. I'm all in one way or the other. So, and if we do a Slime 5 again, I'll try and be more prepared and get some.
It's fine.
But it's something fun to revisit. I know we got this to revisit, The Office, you guys got an episode coming up that I'm still working on for YouTube.
I feel like that's the great with this Slime 5 random drawing is like in another month or two, if we want to do another Seinfeld one, we could. Like there's so many episodes, so
yep.
So I mean, obviously, if people are listening, if you have a favorite Seinfeld episode, or if you would rank these differently, please let us know. Vinny, yep. Do you guys you don't have a date yet on your guest appearance, do you? That you want to plug?
For mine, no, I do not know when it's going to be released, and I cannot speak who the first TBA guest will be.
Okay.
I know that I am the second guest on I don't know what episode of Bonded Banner it is, but be on the lookout on Twitter. We'll post it on the baseball and whatever Twitter page. I'll post it on my page. So will Jack. Give him a follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to hear like I said, if you really want to hear me just go all out at something and be a complete lunatic, give it a listen and let me know what you think. But stick around for the second half, because the banter section is kind of like what we do here.
Yeah.
See, what we don't know is that us and Jack have a very similar podcast, only we're baseball, he's Bond, and then we just kind of chit chat in the end about whatever.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
It's a good time. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it.
Excellent. Good to hear. Vinny, you got anything else you want to plug? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to share with the Patrick Wisdom.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys know how much the difference between his plate appearances and Brian's plate appearances were? I guess I'm going by end of season for Brian in 2016, and the current plate appearances for Patrick Wisdom. Do you know what the difference is between?
You said
over and under?
No.
Yeah, over under 300. What would you say
for Wisdom?
Yeah, between him and Brian, what his plate appearances are to Brian's plate appearances.
By the very fact you're asking the question, I'll go over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over too.
Yeah, there's 416 plate appearances between them, and he's already got 25 home runs. So
wow,
the guy mashes.
Interesting. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He's been one of the bright spots this season, like a fun story to kind of follow.
On kind of like a crap, end of the way season. He's been I'm sure the pressure's kind of off a little bit, but they're just letting him loose and he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
I hope he keeps it up, because the Cubs could use a guy. So
yeah, for sure. All right.
He's got that number 16. He's got Aramis Ramirez's number. So
that's right.
All good things.
Good things. All right. Well, that is it. Like we were talking about earlier, if you want to see what my thoughts are on Wrigley Field, if you care, please check out, I believe it's 3spot.com is the blog. They asked me again. They are a baseball blog. Feel free to check them out. Give them a follow on Twitter. Again, if you want to check our stuff out, you can reach us on Twitter at baseball and what, email us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com and facebook.com/baseball and whatever. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week with another fun-filled episode. And until then, we will see you next time.
See you, everyone.
See ya.